Well, hello there, and welcome to my little arty corner of the internet of YouTube. And I trust you're all fine and well today. And I'd just like to say thank you if you're a returning subscriber or viewer. It's very much appreciated, and I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. If you're new to the channel, I do hope you enjoy what you see today, which is me drawing and explaining some things, possibly, and random wittering as well. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. And thank you so much if you've shared the video with other people who you think would enjoy it as well. Every little helps, as they say, and it does. So this is pattern number 3, Eetings. I called it Eetings because I could. It was eat, and then it turned into Eetings because I've got lots of them. And I've just added some shadow and colour and highlight, I suppose, to some of them to help to bring them to life and to see that. Not all, because it's a sketchbook and not everything needs to be done. I haven't added any shadow, drop shadow underneath them to lift them up, or any patterns or anything. I've still got little spaces in here so that if I have other ideas I can plop them in there. So just very quickly, I've done 3 patterns in the last, well, since the 1st of November, 3 pages of patterns. There's this one here, which is very much in the dark. That one is so dark on screen. It's not that dark when it's here, it has to be said. Just turn that up a bit, perhaps, the light. No name for this one. Then I've done some floral patterns here, which I really enjoyed. I do enjoy those. And carrying on with the botanical theme, there's seed pods here. And before I go on to the next page, I just thought you might like to see this. This is the drawing that I showed yesterday. I've been slowly working on it. Oh, and then I've got another one I'd like to show, but we take this one. But this one is where I'll get my inspiration from, kind of, for the next page of patterns. Because one of the features of art, one of the things I love to include in art are arches. And patterns within them. And a lot of inspiration I've taken for the patterns has come from mainly Romanesque architecture, but also some early Celtic art and Gothic architecture, anywhere where there's a pattern, Art Deco, Art Nouveau, I suppose, as well. And others, all the way through history, humanity, from the earliest times of drawing on walls of caves or carving into rocks, has enjoyed making patterns. There's something that makes us us, I suppose. But I thought it'd be nice if I could do some of my favourite borders, and perhaps some of these patterns are ones that you haven't seen before. And warning, I'm going to be using a pencil to help me construct them, because that's the way my brain works. So there's that. The one thing I wanted to show you as well is this is my other little sketchbook. It's my personal art, and I finished this drawing. I think I showed it when I was doing pattern number 2, the flowers, but I finally got round to finishing it today. A bit of an early wake up, and I got so engrossed in it I decided that today was a day that is one of my weekend days in the week. So I don't always have weekend days on Saturdays and Sundays. Wednesday is nearly always a weekend day where I don't do work, but I do things that I enjoy doing, that don't put any pressure on me, and I usually take another day. So this is one. I'm not so keen on the colours. They look much nicer on the screen, actually. I used pastel pencils, and they've ended up looking a bit murky and grungy and aged. Perhaps that's what I want, really. But apart from my flowers here, this in Zentangle is sort of like one row of Knightsbridge, I suppose, black and white checker squares with a highlight deliberately left in the black. I haven't done any shadow or highlight on this particular border. The background here, I've used lots of little spirals, so Zentangle pattern, that's print on. And around here, this border's Shattuck, and this one is Diva Dance. I've grown to love Diva Dance. It's such an interesting texture and way of doing it. I was almost tempted to colour this in black and then do deviantArt in white on the top or in another colour, a grey or whatever. But I didn't. I did it with lots of black ink. But it's worked out okay. Yeah. And I could have kicked myself that I didn't scan it in before I started adding colour. And the little, I did the print-omps here in grey, in a grey, well, this one, the grey Zig Writer, Kuretake, because I just wanted it quite subtly in the background. I didn't want it to be black. So beginning to experiment with those. So anyway, just thought you might like to see that, to show that I'm not just putting all of these patterns in a book, that I am working with them. And you may be able to spot them in here. There's some of my seed pods there, and there's some over here. And these are the ones with horns on, the ones that look like strange croissants. I've got these flowers here and here, and up here where I've used different patterns to pattern the petals. What other one was there? Oh yeah, this is pattern number 1. So I've got some of those in there. These, I suppose, could be allied to this, but I've used deviantArt around them. And there's various other things. I mean, there's holly boar up here. That's a variation on bales, I think. Jonquil. There's betweed here. This was interesting because I was going to do narrow strips of betweed, and I was going to rotate them, as it were, so do them all starting this way from the left at the bottom, then turn the page around and do it from the left, from the inside of the arch out, to see what it was. But I liked it spaced like that, so I just went back and I just added a very thin line of black in between them to add that nice kind of border that I like between things. There's well is there. That one I don't think is a Zentangle pattern. There's Zeppel there. Gothic arches. I've got no idea if this is based on anyone or this one. This one's definitely very very Romanesque. It is. It's Romanesque. So I thought that today could be borders. I am expecting a delivery from Amazon, so I hope it doesn't appear while I'm recording. If it does, I'll just say Amazon's arrived. But it could be any time between now, which is it's 2:30. My phone was pinging, so I'm going to have a look. No, not yet. Oh gosh. Just have a look at my orders. Oh, it's lovely. It says between 1:30 and 4:30. It keeps changing. So who knows? Anytime it could be. Not yet. So it's me talking about my phone on here. I'm so sorry. I'm not really. Possibly I am. Okay, so let's start with a border on the page. I've got a clip there just to keep these pages flat. I have no glasses on while I do this. I just feel a border just sets a page off nicely. It finds a space to work within. And it starts that feeling of, it gives that feeling of some kind of structure or purpose to the page. And that edge around it it acts like a little frame, doesn't it? Now, as these are going to be borders, let me have a look. Not the best clip to use. Glasses over here required. So I'm just going to call this borders 1, because there will be plenty here. Let me just move some stuff out of the way. I am so disorganised today. I don't know what's the matter with me. Okay, I'll just write at the top. I'm only going to do a couple with you because there are so many on my sheet. But I'm going to start with, my hand's going to be in the way. Still haven't worked out how to set my camera up so my hand isn't in the way. So I want to set my border up. So I am going to do this one on the straight. I could have done nested arches, but then I can always add arches at a later point. And this is where the pencil comes in, because I need to put both a central line in, but I also want to split those two sections roughly into equal parts. I am then going to put vertical lines in for columns. There is a reason for this. I'm making these boxes almost quite rectangular rather than square, and there is a reason for that. If I can put that reason into words, I will, but there is a reason for it. Oh, itchy back. I'm having a day today. Yes, I'm reaching across everywhere. It's got to be because it's a Friday. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the outside. I'm just going to put a zigzag in. Told you there is a reason for this. And I'm going to do the same with the upper one, but it's going to be a reflection. Yeah. If I drew lines down, I'd actually get hexagons here now, wouldn't I? So I've got that far. Next, I'm going to do the same with the next row down. Just find it so much easier to keep things consistent in size with pencil lines. So then this other line, I'm just mirroring what I've just done. So we have that, and then what I'm going to do in the middle of these is put a lovely bead or some such. This is such a familiar Romanesque sculpture pattern, but for the life of me I can't think which church, abbey or cathedral or anywhere else you get that I've seen this. Now what I can do as well is I could have put the vertical lines in, because actually that middle one shouldn't be there, but by doing alternate ones, it would be how the actual stones of the arch will be carved one at a time like this, or in pairs put together. So I've messed up there. But no matter, I'll put an oops underneath and point an arrow to the line to remind me, don't do that again. But the last one thing I want to do is just colour around this area to make it look like it's in the background. When I've sat in churches drawing, I've done it with pencil and sometimes drawing in pen, and I'd actually use shadow and highlight more here, but keep it simple and just create this. I am really untidy at colouring in today. What's going on? I don't know. Let's just finish the last one. Now I'm going to have a page full of borders, and perhaps ones you've not seen before, possibly. Of course I could just do, so I do want to put triangles here, because that would again be quite classically Romanesque. You often get these very fine borders around the design elements, which is where I fell in love with this. So you do need to draw the borders quite wide, or you have to use a very fine nibbed pen. And me, I prefer to draw the borders wide and use a decently sized pen. So that would be more like Romanesque. And of course, just simply colour these in. Or I can split them in half and put half in shadow, half in light. Which you could also do with these bits as well, to give that sense of zigzagginess. But there's all kinds of things you can do with this to play around with it, she says. Oh yeah, I could be doing that. Right, let's have a look. So that's one border. I wish I'd made it so much longer for you and I'd have done all of those. Perhaps I'll come back and do that another time. So let's have a look. That's a brush pen. We do not want a brush pen. Not at the moment. So I'm going to do another one. Fingers crossed, no oops on this one. That one I'm so tempted to do more on. Interestingly, more on is Welsh for carrot. And carrot soup is cawl moron. Curry moron. Yeah, carrot curry. I'm learning Welsh. Duolingo is a wonderful thing. Sorry, I'm so wittery today. Okay, I am going to put a central channel in this one. And I am also going to put some lines in. That middle channel isn't exactly centered, but it will work out just fine no matter what. And I am going to just split these in half, top to bottom, so that I'm going to be, again, mirroring things. Okay, so it's a case of drawing triangles in, like this to begin with. I'll do the same at the bottom. That's why I wanted to split them, because I want the points to meet up, sort of, you know, kiss that middle channel opposite one another, not all skew with. Looks like a row of teeth grabbing onto a bar or something. I'm having a strange day. Then I'm going to put another triangle in here and here. Then I'm going to switch to my finer pen, which I think is, yeah, it's here. I really dislike leaving lids off things. And I'm going to draw a smaller triangle inside each of these. Trying to make the width of the, you know, between the original line and the line I'm drawing about the same, but it's not critical. Again, this sort of line within a line on a feature in Romanesque sculpture is a common thing as well. So that's what I've got now. Then what did I do next? Well, I'll leave a couple as they were. This is what I've always done when I've I say always done, I think I've always done if I'm working on developing patterns or playing with them, is I tend to leave some undone, or even, you know, start with the first step and work my way along. It depends how complex the pattern that I'm doing is. Because sometimes I need to see clearly how, oops, we won't go there, how the pattern starts sometimes. And so it's quite nice then. But as I draw things, like you might have noticed yesterday with the seed pods, is I get ideas as I'm drawing one thing. I think, oh, I could try that. Oh, that would be good. And then there's a couple of things I could do here. Because for these, I could put a triangle in like that. I could also colour that triangle in to make it really stand out. Or I could put a diamond in. The diamond being a square on its point. Funny, isn't it? We put it on its edge, we'd say, oh, it's a square. Put it on its point and suddenly it becomes a diamond. So that adds a bit of weight and darkness there. We could also pop, again, beads in. And they are termed beads, if I remember rightly, in Romanesque sculpture. You often get rows of them. So there's a bead within a bead. And then I've got these ones here, which I'm just going to do like that. And you could put all kinds of things in. I'm thinking I could put a sort of spirals in and other things. But that was essentially this one here with the diamonds within diamonds like this. That's the one that I've used. Where I've put lines here, I could have coloured that in black equally, or left it plain and added colour and shadow later, depending on how wide these things are. Okay, which other one was a typically me one? Trying to pick out the patterns I've drawn that I don't think are Zentangle patterns, or at least maybe variations of them, but I don't know what, if they are a Zentangle pattern, I don't know what they're called. So with this one, I do need a fair bit of space. And I am going to split this down the middle and then into squares. Well, I'm drawing long lines, but I'm splitting and creating squares. Oh, just run out of line. That happens. It's fine. Okie dokes. So what I want to do here is another zigzag pattern. And I prefer to draw the zigzags like this. And that odd bit at the end is about half a square in size. So this zigzag bit will just go part way down. Okie dokes. What next? And the lines are a part of the pattern. So I'm just going to draw inside them, so you end up with a smaller version of this diamond. Again, trying to keep these lines roughly the same size, but if I miss, I'm not going to get upset. And I'm going to do the same top and bottom as well, because these are half diamonds really. they are part of the pattern. Now this, as it is now, is more or less a Romanesque pattern. Well, that's where I know it from. But there are lots of ways of adapting this or doing things to it. But what I chose to do today, I'll only do one here, perhaps, is I put little petal shapes coming out from the centre. I could have put circles, which would have worked nicely as well. Okay, I'm going to put the circles in here as part of that repeating pattern. Yeah, they're overlapping. That's fine. But again, you just get a different feel of the pattern. So with these, I coloured, I hate colouring. I hate colouring. I hate colouring. Ben. With small, thin, scratchy pens. I said that, I must probably make a pig's ear of it with an 05 here. I think it'll be okay. This will turn it very graphic in nature. So, oh, I haven't done one in there. Did that bug any of you? Because I know when I watch videos of people drawing patterns and you see them miss one thing out, it really irritates me out and say, for goodness sakes, will you go back and do this or that or the other? You've forgotten to do it with that little bit there. Yeah, and you can't. And then if at the end of the video they haven't sorted it out, yeah, frustration. Yeah, that can be. So I filled mine in with black. Let me show you. Where is it? Down here. It's them all with black, so it's very, very graphic. It complements this one, which also is very dark in its way. It's got lots of dark areas, which of course is the very first one I did. But it'd be fun to colour these in black. Very scuzzly. Actually, that'd be quite fun because the next one I'm only going to do part of it. So it takes so long to do this. And I think I've said before, editing videos is not my forte. I can't keep my concentration going or keep things in order in my head. Oh, that one should have been left play. Oh well, you'll get the idea. Could do it diagonally. But yeah, so repeating patterns and so on. Same with these orbs here. Just colour around them or colour those in themselves just to make a different kind of pattern. Of course, you have to be careful where you put your ink, otherwise you end up with no longer nice circular shapes. Hence the need really to use a thinner nibbed pen than the one I am. But we will, oh gosh, persevere and create squished things. You get the idea. And of course, all kinds of things could happen within those spaces. So there we are. We have 3 of the patterns you may not have seen before or used before. I said I don't even know whether you know, I know that definitely is Romanesque. This reminds me very much of medieval tiles on floors, medieval tiled floors in abbeys and churches and so on. This one, I don't know where that, half of it is something I've seen in Romanesque sculpture or similar, with twists, my own little twists there, but not mirrored like that. I don't think I've seen. Yes, I have somewhere. I'm sure I have, but I don't know where because I've been to so many places. So I do hope you've enjoyed this little look at borders. Half an hour-ish, a lot of talk. I hope you were able to follow this along and have a go. I'm likely to spend don't know what I'm going to spend my rest of my arty time today with. Do I carry on with the borders? Do I finish this off? I don't know is the answer. I'll get there. Perhaps a bit of both, but whatever. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you would like to be notified, press the notification button, and of course subscribe, because it's lovely if you do, and to see you back again. So please take care, look after yourselves, find time to be arty, and I'll most probably see you tomorrow. Well, not literally see you, but you know, communicate via art tomorrow. So take care. Bye bye.